All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Andor, episode 10. Let's go.
Let's go.
I don't know what to be more excited about
for this
episode.
one here. Shit's gonna go down.
Okay, so we've got the actual prison escape, right? And however that whole thing goes.
Yeah.
I imagine this is also probably where Marva will do whatever she's going to do. Then there's also potentially whatever's going to happen with Dedra. And then, Cyril and
brashness.
then Mon Mothma and that whole thing.
Yeah. There's a lot that could happen here. Mon Mothma meeting up with a member of the Davos gang. I want to say Davos is a pretty popular name of some faction within the criminal underworld of Star Wars EU. I don't remember exactly, but I think the biggest thing I'm excited for is a prison break. So y'all.
I hope Andy Serkis survives.
I mean, I think
would not be surprised if he didn't.
But no, I think in a lot of ways because it's Andy Serkis and because
we can't afford to have him here for that long.
Well, no. He would then have to be recast in Star Wars at some point, and then But y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this.
They don't have enough guards, and they know it. They're afraid. Right now, they're afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what?
They just killed 100 men to keep them quiet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They'll replace Olaf tomorrow. That might not happen again until it's too late. I'd rather die trying to take them down than die giving them what they want.
Given a very similar speech to one you heard once.
Yeah.
We won't have a better chance. Yep. It has to be tomorrow. Program.
Yeah, now he's telling you.
Yeah, fall in line.
Keith, where is he?
Set to lane. You have 30 seconds to introduce the platform.
Who was it?
30 seconds.
New man.
4.
What's going
5.
on? The old guy.
6.
Oh, wow, the way that they have a specific safe
7.
spot going through the floor as everything else is hot.
He said they'd made a mistake and sent back a man who'd just been released. They fried 2 shifts to keep it quiet.
I heard him say
How
this.
do you know that?
I don't believe it.
He's only a doctor. They would never tell him.
No one is getting out!
Yeah.
They listen to you.
They're not letting us go. Ever. We're gonna die here. Or in the next place.
Yeah.
It worked.
Maybe hang back and wait.
Suggestion, sir.
Yes.
I don't think we should step away.
Go on.
We should do what we normally do. Unidentified ship, dead pilot. We'd want to take a look, wouldn't we? Let's assume Krieger's watching. The least suspicious thing that we could do would be to take an interest.
That is exactly what we will do.
There is only one way out. Play it how you want. But I'm gonna assume I'm already dead. And take it from there. There's no sense in wanting the night shift. They'll hear about it one way or another soon enough. Let's make it look good.
Oh, shit.
All right.
You took away their hope.
Dr. Momoy, we're just not sure what to do. She needs her meds, she knows it. But we caught her hiding them now. And when I asked her what she thought she was up to, she said your pills were putting her off her food. And she'd rather keep eating than let you pretend to know what's wrong with her.
Right, they're watching too.
Yep.
So, searching for a more fluid banking situation, are we?
We've discussed all this, Dabba.
I'd like to hear her say it.
Oh.
What will it cost?
My fee?
We assume it's a percentage of funds transferred.
I want no fee.
Oh.
Please take no offense. I'd prefer not to owe any favors. I'd feel far more comfortable paying you for your trouble.
A drop of discomfort may be the price of doing business.
Oh.
I have a 14-year-old son. I'd like to bring him with me. Her daughter's 13, she'll soon come of age. 2 young people, attractive and privileged Chandrillan citizens.
Is that your only offer?
I'm afraid so.
Tay will see you up.
It's a lot to think about.
I'm not thinking about it.
That's the first untrue thing you've said.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy
That
shit.
was a scene. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had to say that you weren't if... Oh, man.
Yep.
Shit.
Hey, pretend to be dead. Go. Don't die till you put up a fight.
Yeah.
One way out. Come on!
God, the way in which they're repeating the scene from the beginning.
Oh, shit.
But instead, it's everybody's on board.
Yeah, because they've been working with equipment. They've got access to all kinds of things.
Oh. If they have to send a maintenance crew down here or something.
Stop right there. On program. Hands on your head, eyes front, feet down.
Just some dude.
Keep moving!
Gotta go faster.
Zaprod, drive to use as you remember it, yes? Yes?
We have a check on 3. Do that now. Already behind.
Step it off.
You're good.
I said eyes front. Where is he? Leave him watching. Calm down. How?
Thought you were dead already.
Yep.
Oh, man.
New man ready on 5-2D, requesting unit override. How's it looking out there?
Copy that. Coming up.
Shit.
Looks good.
Oh! They're so lazy.
Yeah.
Love it. Uh-huh.
They're getting other stuff ready.
Yep. It worked. No, that's them coming down. Ah, shit!
Program.
Oh.
Shit!
Water.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Oh, God.
He's soaking wet, yeah.
It's so fucking obvious.
On program. New man on the floor. Everyone.
No, I don't
hold
think they're
positions.
counting.
New man on the floor! Hold your positions!
Hold!
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Lift engaged.
What's that noise?
What did you say to me?
I said nothing.
If you want to say something, you should say it now. You start. Get them. Alright, you lot! Back on program! Back on program! You lot! Back on program!
Oh, nice.
Yeah!
What's going on out there?
Go! Go!
Do it!
Clear the target!
Yeah. Yep, they're gonna start shooting. Yep, people are gonna die. Yep, oh my god, here we go.
Attack!
Yep, go,
Yeah,
go,
just throwing shit.
everything.
Bunch of metal.
Fuck.
Spark the floor! Spark the floor! Get on the tables! Get on the...
Oh, here we go! Yep, it shorted it out.
Yep.
Good job. He would have died.
Uh-huh.
He would have died.
Yep.
Go.
Attack!
Yeah! Oh my god! Oh! Yep, use the tables as cover. Yep. He'll start going. Yep. Get the gun.
Oh,
Yes.
oh
Yes!
shit.
Double tap. Yeah.
All right.
We're in. Go. Sorry, kid.
I would say nothing personal, but
Yeah. Yep. Meanwhile, elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Water dropping from the floor
shit.
above. Yep. Hand out the whole arsenal.
Kino, come on!
We need to hold the level!
Let someone else do that. Whoa. Lower the consoles.
Come on.
Keep the doors open.
All right, get boots on.
I've got service warnings on every panel.
Get over there and check it out. Now.
Check out 52D.
Oh my gosh.
Holy shit.
Let's go.
Yep. They don't have boots.
A gun fell down to that thing.
Come on, fight!
Holy shit. Oh my god.
God, it's so fucking massive, too.
Yep.
Believe me! Join us!
Just like that.
Yep.
How long does it take to track down a water break?
The techs are waiting for the floor to secure.
Isolate 5.
Locked in.
5-5, 5-3, 5-6. Burn a firewall around it. Try the whole level. Make the epicenter 5-2.
Too late.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Excuse me?
Turn it off!
That could mean so many things.
I'll turn it off.
That's it.
With him. Move! On program!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What is he gonna say?
How long we hang on, how far we get, how many of us make it out, all of that is now up to us. We have deactivated every floor in the facility. All the floors are cold.
Holy shit.
Oh.
Get out of your cells, take charge, and start climbing. They don't have enough guards, and they know it. If we wait until they figure that out, it'll be too late.
He's using Cassian's words, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We will never have a better chance than this. And I would rather die trying to take them down than giving them what they want.
Wow.
All right.
Know that they are making up our sentences.
Yeah.
As we go along, we know that no one outside here knows what's happening. And now we know that when they say we are being released, we are being transferred to some other prison to go and die. And that ends today.
Yeah. We say no!
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to run, climb, kill. You need to help each other. You see someone who's confused, someone who's lost. You get them moving and you keep them moving until we put this place behind us.
All right.
One way out.
Yeah. One way out, yeah!
Holy shit.
They're just terrified
Yep.
Shit. Oh, it's actually not that tall, okay. Wait, no, what?
Can't swim.
What? Oh shit! What a shot! Oh my god, that's
Holy
beautiful!
shit. Wait, no way.
Is he a man on the inside?
Yeah, there was something suspicion was brought up about him at the beginning, and he had an excuse, like in the very first scene in the ISB, I think. One redhead leaves, another joins.
First of all, congratulations.
On what?
Your daughter, healthy, beautiful. You must be pleased.
Holy shit.
This is not a willing informant.
She just captured a rebel pilot running supplies for Andor Krieger.
Ooh, yeah.
They turned him immediately and staged an accident. We know that there's a raid planned on the power station at Spellhouse. If Krieger attacks, they'll be waiting.
And if he doesn't, they'll know something's amiss.
Yeah.
They'll be slaughtered.
It's 50 men. You're worth more than that.
You have to warn them.
To what end? Ruin everything? What better way to reassure the ISB there's no leak in security than sacrificing Krieger? I'm doing this for you, as much as anything.
Cool.
Okay.
The prison threw away 100 and
he actually knows his face.
I can't do this anymore. My sacrifice means nothing to you, does it?
I said I think of you constantly, and I do. Your investment in the rebellion is epic. The double life, everyday performance, the stress of that. We need heroes, Lonnie, and here you are.
Yeah.
And what do you sacrifice?
What probably doesn't he?
Yeah.
What is my sacrifice? I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. Now, the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude.
Well, it's so meta.
So what do I sacrifice? Everything!
What a performance.
I need all the heroes I can get.
Wow.
I am floored.
That was...
Oh my god. What a triumphant episode.
Yeah. How was this show so good? Like actually how? Like this episode...
This episode in some ways was the most focused of a lot of the episodes.
Sure.
By keeping the story so tight on specific things.
Mm-hmm.
But the action, the thrills, the tense reward for all the build-up to this moment, and in some ways, the prison escape is almost a thing of beauty rather than a thing of thrills, because then you finally hear Andy Serkis's character, find his fight. Find his little act of rebellion. And then at the end, he can't swim.
Right. There were multiple monologues in this episode where it's both of those monologues, right? His and Luthen's. Mm-hmm. It's like these are things I would expect people to use when they're trying to get into a drama school. As I'm gonna learn this. I'm gonna perform this. I'm gonna choose scenery. Right?
100%. In some ways, I would almost not even put Andy Serkis on the same kind of grounds.
It doesn't have the same gravitas and and everything as
because it's not as personal.
Right. Exactly. It's an announcement, not a thing that is being spoken to.
Not
an
a
individual,
vision,
right?
A mission statement, or
but goddamn, this episode
I got chills.
Was fantastic. So one of the things that I absolutely love about this episode and what it means in the grander context of the show. Mm-hmm. If you look at now the 3 arcs that we've gotten, right? Because this, concludes the prison arc and all that stuff, right?
Right.
Each one is wonderful for very different reasons.
Right.
And yet they all feel like a cohesive whole, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you go to that next arc, there's what are we going to get with this one, right? Mm-hmm. Because if it was just doing the same thing, then it might feel like retread ground, or you've already seen it, so then it doesn't feel as fresh or whatever, right? Whereas here, each of them are completely different, and the ways that they get excitement from you are vast, are as varied as could possibly be, and yet in plot, and yet the characters and the themes and everything, it all is,
Yeah, it's a cohesive vision. It's a full, holistic, message. I think that I think that this is a really special piece of Star Wars because, for one, the entire central conflict of the original Star Wars movies was predicated on the idea that you had a smaller, more, idealistic force, basically, coming together to try and bring about change.
Yep.
But we didn't know why, other than the Empire was the evil Empire.
Right. They have the death ray that destroys the planet.
Yeah. It's about as comical and as 80s, 70s ridiculous as it gets.
Yep.
But we now have had 45 years, almost 50 years of Star Wars at this point.
Yeah.
We can get into every single little detail of what would make a group of people start a rebellion of this scale. Now, the fun thing about this is that we know logistically it does not have ground to stand on or any way in which it would logistically work. Now, obviously, we know that civilizations fall and stuff like that, but that usually comes from decay from within, not from actual full total rebellion within, a decade or two of this empire's, founding. That's not usually how this works. Right. So the idea that here we would have people like Luthen or Lonnie, who are quietly the heroes of the entire story's potential here, but they will never have any gratitude. They will never have any audience. They will never have their ego even remotely rewarded. The idea that Luthen has to wrestle with this as a human being is not very heroic. It's not very protagonist-like.
No.
In some ways, the way that Luthen is framed here in this scene, he's kind of like a spurned villain almost.
Oh yeah, no. He is absolutely set up as classic Star Wars villain. You have the person whose family is being held hostage that comes to them and says, I want out. And then they meet the mysterious figure in dark clothes in the dark area, right? And they basically say, no, there's no way out of this.
Yeah.
Right? But because he does actually need him to be an effective instrument, he does try and speak to him as a person and connect with him.
He shows vulnerability.
Right. It's not pure strong arming.
And we had always questioned, wait, so Luthen has all this potential influence because of his position.
Yep.
But why is he doing this? Is it because of something basic and simple, like ego, for instance?
Sure.
Or in some ways, just I had an event that happened in the past and it, made me into the person I am today. Well, we kind of get the hint that there was something actually like that. There was a vow that was made. We don't need to know the details of it. But it actually is both. He was doing this for ego. He was doing this for just fuck the Empire. I don't like this. I'm going to do something about it. So I'm going to fight and I'm going to be selfish here. Then, there was some kind of vow he made with Lonnie. Was that a personal thing just for Lonnie's sake? Maybe. Was that actually Luthen's whole backstory right there? Who knows?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Is it something that he sort of demanded of all the people that he would work with to have that kind of hey, this is, the undertaking that we're signing up for. This is a do or die lifelong. There is no out, right? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's a 5-10 year long journey probably at this point. But the idea that here, now, we actually know him. We actually know him. He's the one that is going to burn away any bit of his humanity, his decency, so that maybe someone else can reap the rewards of it.
And
that's fucking heroic, though.
Yes, and also what I love about this is that this is coming off of the stuff that we've been getting from him this arc of Clea being like, you're slipping, right? You're not. Are you fully in this? I need to know that you can be the one to make the call and things like that, right? Basically, she understands this, even if he has never had this, speech given to her, right? And it's I don't know if you're doing that well enough, right? You need to do that more, right? Because that's what we have to do.
You have to be willing to basically put on the mask and never take it off.
Yep.
Really, almost ever. In some ways, this is the kindness, is that he's willing to mask off for a little bit here for Lonnie, just to be like, hey, I think of you constantly. That's about the best you're going to get. But no, we can't have you leave ISB.
Right.
You are not only your life and, you know, by extension, a connection to your family's life.
Yep.
But all those people, and I love that they brought this up, we positioned you into this place so that you would not only be, you know, decently, you know, in the ISB. No, you're high up in the ISB.
Right.
Because we let you get information. Because we leaked things
Sure.
and let people die so that you could be in this position.
Right.
That's fucking
We're not
awesome.
giving that up for 50 people.
No. We're not giving that up for 50 people. No.
Yeah.
We'll be using you many years from now.
Yep.
And what's fun about this is that because of how the Star Wars movies end up going, there's a lot of moments where it's was Lonnie involved in that? Was Lonnie? It doesn't
Sure.
matter. He
Who
could
knows?
have been. He
Yeah.
might not have been.
And I love that it's something where, while there is the sense that he does believe in the cause to some degree, it is also the we're holding you hostage. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you know, like that.
If you got any ideas, we would kill your wife and daughter.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we would probably lure you back to them under the threat of killing them, and then we would kill all of you.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
So it's
Like,
I absolutely love it.
Luthen has no morality.
Right.
In this case.
And then, oh, hey, we see somebody that's maybe not quite as far along, the Mon Mothma scene, which in an episode as crazy as this one, right? It would be very easy for that one to slip under the radar. But I love the way in which it's the...
And that's why it was done early, so that we could have the tension, you know, kept the rest of the episode.
Just keep going up from there. I'll just pay your fee or whatever, right? And it's that's not actually what I want.
No.
And so the fact that it was something specifically regarding her daughter, I think is so brilliant, because I think the personal conflict of Mon Mothma's situation, it's not about the husband. It's not about the husband. It's about what's happening with the daughter, because she's seeing this stuff, even if she doesn't fully understand it, even if she doesn't have the full picture. And that is she
is upset at mom because she believes mom is the one that is making the family fight and division continue.
And
if mom would just get in line, then dad wouldn't, you know.
Right. So to an extent, Mon Mothma has already been sacrificing her daughter.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And so now
this would be a nail in the fucking coffin.
Absolutely, right? There's
daughter
no
daughter would hate her forever.
There's no pretense, there's no nothing, right? Like, you know, that's just how it is. And so when she says, of course she says leave, right?
Yeah.
I would never do something like that. And the way that they just had him be like, that's the first lie you've said in this meeting. You know, like...
Oh, no, she said, I'm not thinking about it.
Oh, I'm not thinking about it. Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, wow, that was the first time you've lied. You know, the first time you haven't spoken the truth or whatever.
Right, exactly. That was such a fantastic way to just cut her legs out from under her and add that, like, that crescendo to the scene, you know? Where it's this is... Which then, you know, is just the small example, so that then we're fully ready within even the same episode of...
Yes.
And now Luthen gives his speech, right? You know, like, so wow.
Yeah. And then all this to say, if you're going to have a prison break episode, give it the good amount of time to not just show them breaking out and it worked super well. Show the build-up. Show the struggle. Show the ways in which it didn't go well.
Right.
Show the ways in which it could have gone even worse and they barely made things work.
Yep.
They went through so many roller coaster like ups and downs of emotion with that, with the idea that, for a second, we're like just getting gunned down. They're throwing stuff at the people.
Yep.
And we've had like 10, 12 dead already. But then they try to fry the floor and the water just completely short circuits everything. And it's like, oh, wait. Shit. Okay.
Like that's, and yeah.
Like I love it on so many different levels, because on one, water being a very obvious visual, you don't have to communicate anything as to why this isn't working.
Sure.
One, because of the setting, we're basically, I feel personally that I'm very much in the hands of somebody that uses everything that's described visually to the utmost to advance the scene and the plot and what have you.
Yeah.
So the idea that they're in this gigantic sea prison wasn't just that's a cool shot. It's we need to have something that Cassian can use to specifically undermine this electrical prison floor.
Well,
So therefore, water. Yeah, he'll find an area that has a potential weak water main. Well, they have to go take a shit sometime, don't they?
Mhm.
Well, yeah. So that's
There
a
you
place
go.
where there's going to be moving water. Consistent moving water.
Right.
Easy.
Done.
Like that. It just worked so well without so many words. And in fact, the words that I ended up hanging on were the times when they were walking around and having their little conversations. You're already dead. I'm already dead. I'm already dead. I'm already
Right.
dead.
It's
like
the way.
chills.
So the point when they actually start escaping is fantastic, and it does what needs to be done. But I think the scenes that really sell that are the scenes before, like you're talking about,
the preparatory stuff,
showing the way in which these people are not fighters.
No.
Right? They're fairly regular people that are in this shitty situation. Right? You know, Andy Serkis' character has to do the hey guys, it's true, all that stuff. You know, the pep talk the night before. Now go to sleep.
Right.
We've got a big day tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then being like, all right, this is what we got.
Yeah.
Let's go.
One way out.
Yep. Like, that was incredible.
I think also, this is another thing. There's a lot of stories that do this trope, the prison that there's no way out of. Basically, you end up getting killed. You end up getting your organs harvested. You end up being turned into a machine or something. There's so many stories that do that specific thing. So the idea that this one is done in Star Wars, it's like, okay, cool. Might as well. It's a good vehicle for communicating so much emotion in your characters and in your audience. But having the moment of they did it, they're free, and then the one way out is basically, uncertainty, death. It's
so many of them are going to starve or freeze or whatever out.
Well, they just won't survive. They'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever it is. Andy Serkis can't swim.
Right.
I love that we don't show his fate.
Nope.
I think that there's a couple things that they've done in Andor as a series thus far where they've taken the minimalist approach in a way that I am very appreciative of. And this is one of them. I don't need to see Andy Serkis going around and being a rebel leader in the prisons as he goes and breaks out all the other ones. I can assume that that's actually what's happening.
Or gunning down as many of the guards before they kill them.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right.
He's not going to be remembered for what he does after this. He's going to be remembered because he actually listened and took what Cassian was saying and he set it out.
Right. The untold stories of Star Wars, basically.
Yeah, and that's what makes this galaxy feel so lived in and yet also large. So small and large at the same time is that there's tons of people like Lonnie, Luthen, and shit. I don't even remember, Andy Serkis' character's name.
No.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
It just feels so fucking good to be watching Star Wars. And I don't need lightsabers or the Force or X-Wings or, super weapons or even Skywalkers. This is just a great universe and great galaxy to tell stories of characters. And this is a great story.
Yeah.
I love the ways in which you can make comparisons to real life. You can take things from this and, draw parallels. You can find all kinds of stuff like that. But I don't know. This feels just alien enough, this world, this world of Star Wars and stuff. And yet I feel like this is also the first time where I've actually related to the characters of Star Wars in a true, intimate, vulnerable way.
Sure.
Because I don't feel like that's the point of Star Wars. Star Wars, in a lot of ways...
It's the wonder.
It's the wonder, the escape. It's the fantasy.
Yep.
And that's okay. And in some ways, you can relate to that. But I think that having a show... It doesn't mean that it's anti-Star Wars to do this. I'm just saying it's something that is a limitation that I think is put in people's minds because of the way that Star Wars was originally produced and shown, that makes them think that, because that was one of the primary themes, that's the only theme we can explore here. And I think that we're tapping into something that was always there underneath the surface, but the story just didn't choose to spend a lot of time focusing on it.
So something kind of my own version of that, right? Because I wasn't expecting you to say that you related to the characters. I was expecting you to say that you related to the world. And I totally get the thing about the characters, but one of the things that was in A New Hope that is, we don't really think about anymore, but is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. At the beginning of this ridiculous, fantastical story, we're going to posit to you that this is all real. That this place does exist, right? And all of that stuff.
Right.
Here is where I feel it, right? I feel that this world is real, right? There's enough about this that feels similar enough to the world that we do currently live in, where I'm like, yeah, this is a thing, right? If you can say Coruscant, the planet of a trillion inhabitants or whatever, right? And it's like, okay, whatever, that's just the thing, right? But then you go in and you see, oh, yeah, these are all the ways in which these characters are making little compromises because they have something that they believe in, right? Or are standing up or whatever, right? I buy that.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I relate to the characters. I think you can't relate to the world without the lens of the characters.
Sure. Yes.
You can't.
And that's probably why, if they want to do something that's more like, if you're wanting to get the gritty feeling for the world, then you need to go into that intimate space with the characters. Yeah. Because not have them be the larger than life heroes.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm being a bit I'm being a bit over the top here with regards to I've never related to a Star Wars character before. That's obviously not true, but more the point that I didn't relate to Luke, going through his struggles, or Leia going through her struggles, or Han going through his struggles, in a very, I would say, intimate or vulnerable way.
Sure.
It was more a mid to surface level emotion. It felt really good, and it felt really exciting, and it felt also really tense at times. But this was something where deep parts of my core were tapped into by the acting and the dialogue and the visual storytelling. I loved that shot of the overhead of the prison, and you see coming out of the three directions
just all the people swimming,
the little white suits of all the people swimming and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, that's like something being born right here. Something is actually happening here.
Oh yeah.
And it was special because this incident has nothing to do with the organized rebellion network cells of Luthans concocting with other
Not at all.
Other Axis type characters that we have plenty of. If you're well informed in the Star Wars expanded larger mythos and all that, the fulcrums and the many others, that's fun. And it makes this feel momentous and exciting that, this is the build-up towards the very first Star Wars movie. All of this is leading up to that. It just adds extra value to those scenes, except that, no, sometimes it doesn't even take that. It just takes the oppressors basically tipping their hand just a little bit too hard. Or not even tipping their hand a little bit too hard, but being so disconnected from the humanity that they're violating. They accidentally show something that takes away someone's hope. That starts a story, and it just spreads like wildfire.
There is something very poetic about the idea that the way that they got around the unbeatable prison is by doing something that would cause them to actually use the tool of punishment.
Yes.
If they hadn't decided to fry the floor at that moment, it probably would have been fine, right?
Maybe.
I mean, if they decide not to fry the floor, then, the threats, yada, yada, all that stuff.
No, you're right, though. They would have hunkered on the tables, and they would have gunned down all of them while they were standing on the tables.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Probably.
There you go. And so I find that, just mechanically satisfying in how it also ties into the things that we've seen of, yes, the overreach, brings about the rebellion. And here it literally is equipping the rebellion, right?
Right.
Like,
and yet I love that I'm not going to follow up with any of these prison characters.
Nope.
Maybe one of them, the one that went with Cassian, ends up with him in some way, shape, or manner. But you know what?
He might not even last long, you know?
Yeah. Again, it might not even matter.
Yeah.
I think it's more the point that these people were enslaved, doing their, work for the Empire. And all that came crashing down here because of a couple people's actions, just a couple people. There was no great scheme here. There was no great, heroic moment of rebellion or what have you. Yeah, and that's special. So the idea that Luthen understands his role in all this and kind of encapsulates the themes of the story so well, despite being in some ways we kind of look at him a little bit more emphatically because he's got the big actor name behind him.
Sure. Yeah.
So we kind of know that for the most part, he's where the
main focus is. He shows up with a cane and a cape,
But it's also Stellan Skarsgård. Like you're looking at an acting legend here. And so it's so you're important. But in the world, in the universe, no. In some ways, he's even less important than Mon Mothma.
Oh yeah, that's why he needs her, right? Like the probably the most important thing about him is the whole thing that he dropped, and I like that they added this in there of the equation I came up with 15 years ago. The idea that he has been planning this for a long time, right?
Right.
Like that's, but you're just one of the people who's gotten farther than most,
Right. And I think what's fun about that again is if you look at Star Wars, we've had many iterations of them trying to be like, this is how the rebellion started.
Right.
And this guy didn't necessarily start the rebellion.
Oh no.
He might have just been one of the first people to gather some like-minded individuals.
Right. He helped people find each other probably.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
And maybe
the first act of rebellion was years earlier.
Maybe helped keep some of the people motivated through various means in order to make sure that they didn't get cold feet, or when they did, they stuck with it.
Yeah, the one part that could be kind of fun for them to explore a little bit more is the idea that I believe it's either 17 or 19 years, because it's 32 years before Phantom Menace and Yavin. So then you go 22 from the 10 years between that and Attack of the Clones. Then you do 3 years between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, so I think
that's where you
19.
get with 19, exactly. Right. So the idea that this is happening probably not too long before Battle of Yavin, as far as things go.
Possibly.
The Empire had probably existed for at least a year or two before he had come up with his equation.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 15 years is a nod specifically to Revenge of the Sith, and that like he.
I know, but
everybody saw what happened.
We don't have a current timeline in the actual Andor verse.
Well, that's the only timeline we're being given. 15 years.
No, I know, but that means at the very least the Empire is older than 15
correct,
years.
yes.
It doesn't mean that it was 15 years ago he decided to do that. Because in a lot of ways, the part that is the insidious thing, is that Palpatine, yes, became the High Chancellor with Order 66 and took over everything there, but didn't immediately just go, now all your civil liberties are going away.
Right, he said the whole galactic empire, and Padme made her comment about liberty dying with thunderous applause.
Right. People probably, for the most part, were like, oh, good. Yeah,
sure.
This is great.
And to be fair, if the 15 years ago was the equation of I don't get out of this as a person, like me, my identity, my decency, and all that stuff, there's a good chance that then, it was a decent amount of time after that, to the point where he had already started doing all those sacrifices and things, and he's like, wait a minute, let me take stock. How does this go?
I
guess that's how it goes,
win here?
Well, I got to use their own methods.
Yep.
All right.
I can't put anything as beneath me or above me. Like,
right.
I am it all. There's actually a really interesting conversation to be said that one of the things that like George took as kind of inspiration for Star Wars at the time was the Vietnam War.
Oh.
And the idea that the Rebel Alliance is effectively the Viet Cong in that case. You've got a much larger, military force.
Sure, the small freedom fighters,
And they win. The Viet Cong wins against the U.S.
Sure.
it's just something to be said, you know, George being very, you know, anti-war, you know, at the time and stuff based on, you know, who he was and things like that. So in a lot of ways, what Andor is basically saying is this is the rationale that a terrorist has to basically come to.
Yep.
Any person that basically says, I know I'm doing wrong. I know I'm using horrendous, you know, methods or what have you, but I believe that the only way that my children, or not even my children, but
just
the only way
other
that
people,
the next, you know, group of people are even going to have the slightest amount of a chance is for me to be the one that does things like this.
Well, and I think that's where it's the whole thing of once you go into the lives on a scale thing, it goes to some very clear conclusions, right? Like it's not some big failing necessarily, other than just deciding to do the lives on a scale thing, right? You know, so you know the common wisdom would be so avoid that. Don't go into situations where you'll have to do that, right?
Right.
But you know, once you're there, of course he's not gonna. Of course he's not. Of course he will sacrifice the 50 people that are also trying to fight for this cause because are you crazy? There's no way. You're gonna pay out a whole lot more than 50 lives by the time this is done.
But this is a human being. And he has to sleep at night. And he has to try and have even a modicum of sanity. So the idea that his assistant, Clea, is like, are you with me? Is not because he's, you know, losing faith in the cause necessarily, or he's being like mechanically slow, but they both understand the tax of what they're doing puts on a person. And it's the, hey, slap, 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 slap. You know, are you still lucid?
We're warriors, you know.
Right, exactly. And and what has he sacrificed, you know? Yeah, everything. When they did the whole thing of like setting him up for the like, what have you sacrificed? And I was thinking like, this is one of those scenes where they're setting up a character to then have a great line where they like, I've sacrificed everything I can for this, and
what does it matter to you anyway?
Everything. And I was thinking like, oh, it's gonna be a bit over the top, but then he starts talking quietly, and he actually starts listing the things that he sacrificed.
Because this is what I love about it is that in most situations when you have a scene like this, because again, oftentimes this would be a scene that would be given to the antagonist, right?
Yes.
This is where the antagonist shows that they have conviction and all that stuff, and they're not just a monster. Those are often very self-aggrandizing.
Yes,
right?
Very.
You know, that just
very
is part and parcel with the package, right? And while that is definitely here, the reason that it's here is because he needs to also get the guy to be self-aggrandizing.
Yeah.
I'm a part of something that's bigger than me. He's basically trying to stoke that ego that probably was part of the reason that he started this in the first place, right? He mentioned ego being one of them, you know, which is probably the more...
Well, the ego is what started it.
Right. But the idea that that's probably one of the more surprising ones to have listed, you know, anger, willingness to fight, you know, okay, sure. But ego...
It depends on how you define ego. A lot of people don't know what ego is. It's just it's just the sense of self. The idea that it's the, I'm not going to let you do that to me. Like, I have too much self, you know, I have too much of opinion of myself. My self-value is high enough that I won't let you push me around.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I think you can view ego in a very, like, this is my id, my, you know.
Yeah. I was going to say the idea that that it's also the ego that he could do something. Right, you know the arrogance to vision
fight.
cast, right? You know, and so here he's basically like, no, I'm going to tell you, you're a hero, right?
Yeah, because your thing with here, this is epic.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I need you to believe that because I need you to have conviction because that's the thing that'll keep you going. Because right now, yes, the equation doesn't make sense. You know, the people that you're working with are holding your family hostage, right? You know, the threat of death. And you're leading the double life by yourself, 6 years,
you're already
all that
dead.
stuff, right?
You're already dead. You're already dead.
Right.
Yep.
Oh boy. What do we do for the next arc? Do we get another?
That's the thing. We could have anything.
Yeah.
Again, it's Cassian's story. So we just have to follow up with him. You know, getting out and getting back into the swing of things.
I would not be
Ferrex probably.
Right.
I would say Ferrex is probably the last bit. We got to resolve the things with his mom. He's going to end up probably encountering Dedra. or at the very least going to end up bumping into all the pieces that are set up around Marva. We're probably also then going to set up some things as to where Cyril will be in the later season, so that he can then end up being in the Empire situation in some way.
Yeah, because he didn't wait outside ISB to ask for a job, which is kind of what I had been expecting him to do in the previous episode, right?
But he wasn't in this episode. But yeah, the hilarious amount of stuff that are basically set up around where Cassian goes next.
Right, but first he needs to actually get off this planet.
Oh, they'll just do that off screen. Like,
you think
honestly, I think that's probably one of the areas where they kind of can't like waste too much time.
Just assume that this is a planet that is inhabited to a sufficient degree that he could,
or just show him coming off of an Imperial shuttle that he stole and killed some people in order to get. Like, I mean, it wouldn't be necessarily too hard, as long as they're basically showing a way in which, yes, he did get off the planet. We either time skip off of that, to a different time and stuff.
Sure.
Or
he's fully on board with the rebellion by this point.
Right. We're dealing with a meta perspective because it's a prequel that it doesn't really matter how he did it. We know he makes it, to future projects. So it's well, let's get to the next, conflict, which is primarily on Ferrix right now.
I don't know. I feel like at this point the primary conflict's on Coruscant.
With Mon Mothma?
Yeah, but I mean also
what does that have to do with Cassian, though?
That also would be where the ISB is.
Right, but what does that have to do with Cassian?
I mean, well, that's kind of the point. Cassian is he's a nobody still. Like,
well, right, but the show's about him. Like,
no, right, but the
it's called Andor.
but is it really about Cassian? Or is it about the rebellion throughout the galaxy as a whole, and Cassian is the main one that's going through that?
Yes, of course, it's both, but it's the thing that I'm talking about predicting what's the next actual arc with him going to be. This was the prison arc because Cassian was in prison.
Sure.
The previous one was the heist arc because Cassian was doing the heist. So, therefore, what do you think the next arc is going to be for Cassian?
I mean, I suppose you could go back to Ferrix, but I feel like we don't actually have anything for this because he doesn't, he currently, and they can skip past it, he does not have a way off the planet. He doesn't even really have a way to survive on the planet. Whatever money or funds or resources he had are basically gone, right? So he will have to refigure things out. And what I could see happening is that because he realizes I've both accepted that I kind of have to fight against the Empire, and there really is no other place for me, that could cause him to then basically willingly return to the grander struggle, and then that's how he'll get swept up in it all.
Okay, so that
maybe it happens.
That's kind of vague, but I get what you're saying. But I think that you could do that by having him go to the place where his family is literally under threat. He has to rescue Bix. There's people there that he actively cares about. It's where the story started. But I mean, this is a fantastic episode to leave us on a cliffhanger of all cliffhangers.
Oh yeah.
Of this is where the rebellion's at. They're going to lose in this next encounter here so that they can win future encounters.
Right.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about Andor as a show, about Star Wars in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.